The title is The Wise King and the Whispering Winds.
Once upon a time in the prosperous kingdom of Eversky, known for its peaceful land under endless blue skies, there ruled a wise and kind king named Albert. His subjects adored him, for he was just, humble, and always sought their welfare. Despite his many virtues, King Albert had one peculiar habit. Every evening, he climbed the highest tower in his palace to listen to the whispers of the wind. The people often wondered what secrets the winds shared, but the king never spoke of it. Some believed the winds carried messages from the gods, while others thought it was a sign of the king's eccentricity. One fateful year, a severe drought struck the kingdom. The rivers dried up, crops withered, and the once cheerful citizens grew desperate. As their plight worsened, the royal advisors urged King Albert to impose heavy taxes to buy food from neighboring kingdoms. But Albert hesitated. That evening, as he stood in the tower, the winds whispered,
A king's heart is tested not in times of abundance, but in moments of despair.
The words struck a chord in his soul. Determined to find a solution, he decided to disguise himself as a commoner and venture into the kingdom to understand his people's struggles. Disguised in simple robes, King Albert traveled from village to village. He witnessed the despair firsthand, children crying from hunger, farmers lamenting their lost harvests, and merchants struggling to make ends meet. Yet, amidst the sorrow, he also saw acts of kindness, neighbors sharing the little they had, and strangers helping one another without expectation. One evening, he encountered an old woman sitting by the roadside, weaving a basket from dry reeds. She offered him water from her meager supply and said,
Hardship reveals the strength of our character. A true leader is one who suffers with his people and uplifts them, even if it costs him dearly.
Inspired by her words, King Albert returned to his palace. He summoned his advisors and announced a bold plan. Instead of imposing taxes, he ordered the royal treasury to be opened and used to distribute food and water. He also decreed that the palace gardens be converted into farmland and encouraged nobles to do the same. Though the advisors worried about depleting the kingdom's wealth, Albert remained steadfast.
Wealth has no meaning if my people starve,
He said. Months passed, and through collective effort and resilience, the kingdom survived the drought. When the rains finally returned, Eversky blossomed once more, stronger than ever. One evening, as King Albert stood in the tower, the winds whispered again,
A king who listens to his people and acts with a selfless heart is the greatest treasure of any land.
From that day on, King Albert became known as the Shepherd King, for he not only ruled but cared for his people as if they were his own family. His story became a legend, a reminder that true leadership lies in compassion and sacrifice.
Moral of the story: true leaders prioritize the well-being of their people over personal gain and recognize that unity and compassion are the greatest strengths in times of adversity.